บรวมสามัคคีเตียงเจียทีตรอยาเจียนจำมารารงเรืองเจียตรมเยียนสากาวพรองเปรียบดาวพลนาลือ
Is back with us now with a look at a question on one of your minds. Here it is. How do I know if my back pain is caused by a herniated disc?
Very good question. What is a herniated disc? Let's start with that.
You know, I love that question because it's one of the most common discussions I have in the emergency room. And usually I show graphics. So I want to show you guys what it looks like. So in our spine, we've got bones. Those are our vertebrae in white. And between each bone, there are cushions or discs that's highlighted in blue. And in certain cases, that disc can herniate or bulge out and push on important nerves. And then that is what gives you symptoms. If it happens in your neck, it can be in your arm. If it happens in your lower back, it's most often in your leg. And I just want to show you some of the common symptoms. Number one, pain. That's what brings people into the emergency room. Not everyone who has a herniation will get pain, but of course, when it comes, it can be unbearable.
And not even in the back necessarily.
Not necessarily in the back, because you can have these types of injuries everywhere, but most commonly in the back, most commonly in the lower back. And then numbness or tingling. And that's because when that pressure goes on that nerve, it blocks out its ability to work. And so that's what leads to those symptoms of numbness and tingling, aside from pain. And then also, we have one more here. It's weakness. And that comes because, again, one of the functions of nerves is to connect the message from the brain to the lower extremity or the arm. And so pain, numbness, weakness, those are the most concerning signs. When there's an abrupt change or when you have significant symptoms, that's when you have to really make sure that it's not causing impingement on really important structures.
Right. That sounds really painful, but just like kind of on a scale of painfulness, like just regular back pain versus a herniated disc. What's
Eva,
the difference
this kind
there?
of pain is usually 10 out of 10, enough to bring you into the emergency room. And the treatment can be variable. Sometimes it can be mild, which you can treat with things like NSAIDs or ibuprofen. Sometimes it can be more significant. Those patients need more aggressive pain control. And as we were discussing, some patients need injections of things like cortisone. And then when it gets really, really bad, those patients need surgery. But one of the best ways to prevent this is just basic things that we can do in our everyday life. And then also understanding the value of physical therapy.
Yeah, well, give us some examples. I'm sure you don't want people to wait until they're feeling 10 out of 10 pain. How do we prevent it?
You know, number one, making sure that our core is stable. Our muscles help to stabilize our spine. So the more muscle you've got, the less pressure and the weight that you've got on your spine. Also posture. You wouldn't think it's that important, but sitting up at the desk or sitting at your chair is really important, because if you sit appropriately, again, you take that weight off of your spine. And then you want to prevent lifting inappropriately. You remember, we all know this. You don't want to lift with your back. You want to lift with your thighs. And jobs like repetitive lifting and prolonged sitting, those can increase your risk. So you want to make sure you try to divvy it up and be variable in your day.
Your Southern etiquette school, great.
I all of a sudden pulled my shoulders.
I saw that. I saw that. Great example.
Yes, love that.
As of last Monday, March 17, and the program's called the Asian, the Free Asia staff posted the article called Asian Descendant Activist Voice Dismay Over Funding Freeze to Radio Free Asia.
So let's listen to what it has to tell us first, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
Keep fighting. We won't survive. As you know, IFA is the only news organization in Khmer that broadcasts information that matter to the local people. So I'm very honored to be able to share, to broadcast news, to share news to the people in Cambodia, the information that they need, information that help them make the right decision, the information that not filtered, not controlled by the government. It's very tough, but the thing that keep me move forward is that, again, go back to the history of Cambodia itself. It has gone through a lot. And also compared to other country that has been under the authoritarian regime for decades as well. If we don't keep fighting, we won't survive. If we don't keep fighting, we won't survive.
So, unfortunately, people have lost their job everywhere, ladies. you know that most of our health care program is from GMA3, ABC TV Channel 5, right?
Yes, that's correct.
The GMA3 staff was also, some of them were also laid off. And the show was a bit shaky, but so far, now we know that GMA3 will remain and will be posting their show through national TV, which is ABC Channel 5. And as you know from social media, many people have lost their jobs, right? Federal workers, almost 2 million of them, and many immigrants have been deported back to their native country. So everything is such a crisis right now, ladies.
Yeah, and Crew, it's been chaos. It's chaos for the citizen of the United States. It's also had a negative effects on the rest of the world as well, who depend on the USAID funding that's also been cut. So we are talking about a simple health care, such as uh, access to clean water, access to uh, immunization crew, especially simple, simple funding and access to basic educations on human rights and things like that. Now it's also been cut, and it is affecting everyone around the world. The United States going to be like, it's only been 62 days since the new administration is, actively operate the United States, and it's already have a huge effects. So right now, everybody is not safe, especially the federal employee. They have been laid off every day as we speak. And soon it will affect everyone else, and it will affect the non-profit and the private corporation as well. When the economic is not going anywhere, it's affecting everyone.
I wonder what would be the reason that the U.S. administration's decision to halt broadcast by Voice of America, known as VOA, and also Radio Free Asia, could it be because of the China state-backed global time called VOA a lie factory and biased propaganda poison? And could it be because of that? That's why they decided to lay off freeze the funding for Radio Free Asia and VOA? What do you think, lady?
Necro, it could be anything right now. There's no real reason, honestly. I don't think there's a real reason, because even the European media is also being halted. And the US media, such as NPR, PBS, and last week, the announcement of MSNBC is going to be halted as well. So anything that is not in favor, is not in support of the current administration, will be affected.
So there was an democracy activist who wrote from exile in Germany. He said that Radio Free Asia and VOA played a pivotal role in helping him break free from indoctrination of the Communist Party. And the discontinuation of Radio Free Asia and VOA represents a significant setback for democracy and human rights movement globally, he added. And Communist Party in China and Asia will dominate narratives unchallenged, preventing us from hearing the alternative perspective and from knowing the democratic progress of freedoms and dignity from respecting human rights. President Trump called for the reduction of global media last Friday, March 21st. And VOA Director Michael Abramovich said on Saturday that virtually the entire staff had been placed on administrative leave. And the same thing happened to Radio Free Asia staff as well, although last Monday they were still working. Elaine Pearson, Asia Director at Human Rights Watch, said it was devastating to lose Radio Free Asia from the media because Radio Free Asia covers a lot of things in some of the country in Asia where press freedom is the most restricted, including China, North Korea, Cambodia, Vietnam, and Laos. And it sends news in 10 different languages through text, social media, radio, and television. A Chinese journalist and human rights activist Gao Yu said in a post on X that the closure of these two American network or American media outlet will make the communist regime celebrate because they are afraid of these two media outlets. Many thousand.
We hope that something will be working out right now, and the funding will make available again.
Yes, and I want to add that many activists, many protesters outside of Cambodia, they had been relying on news information from Radio Free Asia and Voice of America because the news are unbiased, like the way Bong Andre mentioned earlier. Not only that it's unbiased, but it actually open concealed information, like information that people in the country won't be able to have access to the world outside of Cambodia. And also these two media platforms or news stations, they had been the two that interviewed leaders or activists who are living outside of Cambodia and who are afraid of their safety. So the fact that they lost their funding is like a very, very sad news. And the next news that we have on the agenda is regarding the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea. So just a little bit of background. So the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, also known as UNCLOS, was founded in 1982. It is an international treaty that establishes a legal framework for all ocean activities and resources. Judge Hidehisa Horinochi, the former Japanese ambassador to Cambodia and a member of the International Tribunal for the Law of the Sea, ITLOS emphasized that Cambodia stands to benefit significantly from ratifying the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, known as UNCLOS. It is a move that would enhance its maritime governance and regional cooperation. Judge Horinochi underscored that accession to UNCLOS would provide legal framework essential for the future agreements on fisheries and oil exploration. He concluded that with maritime security becoming increasingly vital in South Asia, UNCLOS would bolster Cambodia's legal standing in negotiating with neighboring countries like Vietnam and Thailand. He highlighted that if you are a member of UNCLOS, you can tell your neighboring countries that you have the same rights of the sea territory, which could lead to a peaceful agreement for the maritime occupation. This is wonderful news because we were so sad by the news regarding RFA and VOA, and now we are talking about the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea. So basically, me personally, who has been so supportive of international tribunal and regional courts and things like that. I really support this framework because it creates this space for a country like Cambodia, which is a developing country and doesn't really have much say or much power in the region, to actually bring its concerns to this regional tribunal court. And I mean, we have so many problems in Cambodia. It's just that we don't hear about every single issues in Cambodia. It doesn't mean that there are not that many issues, but just based on the issues that we have heard and that news media have reported, including Voice of Khmer American, it seems like Cambodia can definitely take advantage of the International Tribunal for the Law of the Sea, because it seems like Cambodia can definitely use this space to actually, raise legal concerns and negotiate issues with its neighboring countries like Vietnam and Thailand, over matters within the maritime security borders. And let's see. So, I know that with the ASEAN, they do have, a framework that supports Cambodia and the member countries to bring neighboring disputes over there. But this one, the International Tribunal for the Law of the Sea, it seems like not only, issues among countries, but specifically maritime issues, which is a big issue in Cambodia right now. And my will ask my co-hosts if they have any things to add.
Yeah, actually, that's a very good summary on this Tribunal for the Law of the Sea. Challenges for Cambodia is that the Cambodian government is not taking a step forward. And the Cambodian government, specifically, Prime Minister Hun Manet said that he is still negotiating with the Thai government around the dispute issue on land, sea, and the island. And they dare not touch any issue relating to a neighboring Vietnam. So it's a different issue and challenge in it itself due to the politics and the friendships and things like that. And this is what upsets the Cambodian citizens. I don't know if Crew have anything to add on that.
I wonder if this UN clause will allow the individual citizen to put a lawsuit to them, or it has to be the government. The former Japanese ambassador to Cambodia did mention, which I watched his video on Facebook, and I'm afraid that I did not have it now while we're talking about it, that you have to join, you have to be a membership of UN clause in order to be able to have that power to go and negotiate with your neighboring country in terms of the territory. So he did mention that the Cambodia, yeah, he concluded that with maritime security becoming increasingly vital in Southeast Asia, UN clause would bolster Cambodia's legal standing in negotiation with neighboring countries like Vietnam and Thailand. And he also highlighted that if you are a member of UN clause, you can tell your neighboring countries that you have the same rights and the rights of the sea territory, and that which could lead to peaceful agreement for the maritime occupation. So, but my question is that do we, as an individual countryman or patriotic people, can put a lawsuit, or it has to be the government of that country to put a lawsuit or to join as a member of UN class? That is still a question that need to be answered, ladies.
Yeah, Nekru, but you know what? The Cambodian government is doing a lot of things behind the citizens' awareness, and it's about putting the country at risk with the neighboring country to the east and the west. So they don't want to be a member. They want to have the right to control the decision of what they want to do as a leader. And now that the former president of the Philippines is being taken in by the ICJ. And Cambodia, what I've learned is that Cambodia is also a member of ICJ, and the Cambodian government is considering pulling out from being a member so that they are not being investigated.
Ladies, this topic is very hot. So now we need to share our contact information so that if anybody would like to chime in, they can. Voice of Khmer Americans, known as VOKA, live streamed on Comcast Cable every Monday at www.ltc.org/on-demand/CH8 for VOKA English version from 6 to 7 p.m. and on www.ltc.org/on-demand/CH26 for VOKA Khmer version from 7 to 8 p.m. It'll be replayed on Wednesday and Friday at 2 p.m. And also you can watch it again online at www.immersmedia.org on Wednesday at 8 p.m. channel 15 and also online at www.lintv.org on Tuesday at 9 p.m. and Thursday at 7 a.m. or live on Comcast Cable Channel 3 and Verizon Channel 38. Here is our contact number, 617-461-9335 for live chat or leave a message. We'll get back to you as soon as possible. We welcome any feedback and constructive criticism. As always, we thank you for watching and supporting our volunteers in serving our community for the better future. And next, ladies and gentlemen, our viewers, we have our second segment to share, which is the heritage, culture, and education.
Yes, and
Welcome back, everyone, to our next segment, which is going to be on culture, religion, and education. And this month is the International Women's Month. So we want to take the opportunity to highlight some important icons. And my co-host will take over this part of the segment.
thank you so much, Bong. The heritage and culture segment, we have Princess Norodom Gina as a Ganare dance to share with our viewers. Please take a watch together.
នាឱកាសទិវាវប្បធម៌ជាតិលើកទី27ខ្ញុំសូមនាំអារម្មណ៍ពុកម៉ែបងប្អូនខ្មែរគ្រប់រូបមកស្គាល់មរតកបេតិកភណ្ឌខ្មែរមួយដែលកូនខ្មែរគ្រប់រូបត្រូវដឹងត្រូវស្គាល់នោះគឺកេណោជាពាក្យសំស្ក្រឹតសំដៅទៅលើឈ្មោះសត្វនៅក្នុងព្រៃហេមពាន្តដែលមានរាងកាយផ្នែកខាងលើជាមនុស្សខាងក្រោមជាសត្វមានស្លាបអាចហើរបានក្នុងប្រទេសកម្ពុជាគេរកឃើញរូបកេណោចំណាស់បំផុតនៅលើចម្លាក់នៃប្រាសាទសម្បូរព្រៃគុកដែលត្រូវបានកសាងឡើងក្នុងសតវត្សទី7នៅក្នុងរបាំព្រះរាជទ្រព្យឬរបាំក្បាច់បុរាណខ្មែរយើងដែលជាសម្បត្តិបេតិកភណ្ឌវប្បធម៌អរូបីនៃមនុស្សជាតិរបស់អង្គការ UNESCO ក៏មានរបាំកេណោរីដែលនាដការរបាំក្រុងឈុតសម្លៀកបំពាក់ខ្មែរបុរាណដ៏ប្រណិតរេរាំពុតពេនពោពេញទៅដោយសិល្បៈរស់រវើកនៅឆ្នាំ1906នាដការរបាំកេណោរីបានសម្ដែងនៅអឺរ៉ុបជាលើកដំបូងនៅឯពិព័រណ៍អាណានិគមនៅទីក្រុងមេក្សីប្រទេសបារាំងក្នុងរជ្ជកាលព្រះបាទស៊ីសុវត្ថិគ្រឿងសម្លៀកបំពាក់កេណោរីក្នុងរបាំព្រះរាជទ្រព្យមានទ្រង់គ្រឿងជាច្រើនយ៉ាងល្អប្រណិតដែលបន្សល់ទុកពីក្បួនខ្នាតបុរាណរបស់ខ្មែរយើងក្បាច់រចនាដ៏ល្អវិចិត្រនៃគ្រឿងសម្លៀកបំពាក់ស្លាបចុងកន្ទុយកេណោដែលលម្អយ៉ាងប្រណិតនេះក៏ត្រូវបានជ្រើសរើសបញ្ចូលក្នុងម៉ូដរចនាបេតិកភណ្ឌខ្មែរនៅលើ ABA Mobile ដែលមានអ្នកប្រើរាប់លាននាក់គ្រប់ម៉ូដរចនារបស់ ABA Mobile ត្រូវបានបង្កើតឡើងក្រោមហេតុផលច្បាស់លាស់ហើយរាល់ទិដ្ឋភាពនិងប៊ូតុងនីមួយៗសុទ្ធតែមានបង្កប់អត្ថន័យគុណតម្លៃជាក់លាក់ ជាក់ស្ដែងវត្តមានគេណលើប៊ូតុងមួយរបស់ ABA Mobile ជាការរួមចំណែកលើកស្ទួយវប្បធម៌ផ្សព្វផ្សាយពីអត្តសញ្ញាណជាតិនិងបេតិកភណ្ឌដូនតាខ្មែរយើងឲ្យកូនខ្មែរជំនាន់ក្រោយបានដឹងបានស្គាល់ប្រើម៉ូដរចនាបេតិកភណ្ឌខ្មែរនៅលើ ABA Mobile ហើយយើងរួមគ្នាថែរក្សានិងផ្សព្វផ្សាយមរតកជាតិយើងទាំងអស់គ្នាទិវាវប្បធម៌ជាតិលើកទី28
So, ladies, this is the Heritage and Cultural Celebration, the 27th year. What a wonderful thing. And Princess Jenna, she is now, I think, 13, going on to 14 years old. And I've been watching her since she was 6. And look how beautiful and graceful she is in that costume of the dance that is called Kainorais dance. And it's been a very cultural and a heritage, and now they put it in the new in UNESCO as a tangible cultural heritage. And look at this, beautiful, isn't it? These are Kainorais, and Kainorais means angels. I haven't been able to see it this up close, ladies.
I believe this is my first time seeing what a kainare look like as well, Nekru. I've heard of the name, the term kainare, but I never know what kainare would actually look like. So, and it's also such a prize for Cambodia that this piece of artifacts is now part of the UNESCO collections. So
Yes, and you can also find or see Kainorais dance at the what do they call it? The Royal Ballet of Cambodia as well. And I am so proud that now it's inscribed by the UNESCO as an intangible cultural heritage of humanity of Cambodia. And ladies, because we are still in the month of celebrating women, I think this is a perfect woman for us to celebrate, don't you think?
absolutely. And I can't believe she's only 13 years old and have all of this amazing talents.
And
And
she can speak so many languages.
that's right.
I
She
mean,
looks so grown.
yes, I think a 13 going on to a 14 years old, I think it's for the Cambodian size, it's beautiful. It's just beautiful and graceful. I mean, there's no word to describe her. I just love her.
Yes, Nekru. So we have about um we have about 7 or 8 minutes. I can go over the education piece unless you have another piece of a woman's item to cover, Nekru.
No, this is it. This is our Women's Celebration Month right there.
Okay, sounds great. So if you would allow me to share my screen, I like to speak to our senior. Can you see my screen okay, Nekru?
Yes.
Wonderful. So do take a snapshot of this first slides with my name and information on it. You can contact me with any question relating to college planning. And I can provide a 20-30 minutes free consultation for your family and students. So Nekru, I want to speak to the junior just because they need to get a lot done before school end at the end of May or first week of June. So right about this time, they junior, you should know what college you want to attend. Okay, make sure you have every aspect of college identified that you feel you may get admitted. It should include a private college university or a state college and university, and in or out of state college or university, okay, that you want to consider applying, and have that list ready and do your research. And April come, there will be a 1 week school what do you call it? Spring break. So Massachusetts will have a spring break at the end of April. And I suggest that you junior and also sophomore should plan a site visit to the colleges that you want to consider. Okay, so start making a list and start contacting those schools to start your college tour. Have your questions ready to ask what you feel is important to you. Is it a major? Is it a student body type? Is it a club that you're interested in that is important to you? What kind of internship program that you can benefit from and get paid for and all of those things. Just some of the idea. Okay, so draft out your questions and contact those colleges and university for site visit and tour. Okay. Because if you decide to apply to those college and you have toured their school, they document your visit, and that will benefit you when they have to review your admission informations. Okay. So that's for junior. It's very important. And another thing is that you should start thinking about your junior junior year teachers whom you have good relationship with, do well in their class, and speak to about 2 or 3 of them to secure their letter of recommendation for your college application or scholarship application. Okay, you can do both. So start having those conversations with your teachers now, so that over the break or over the summer, they try to chat down some time to work on your letter of recommendation. Know that you will not be the only student who's going to ask them for this letter of recommendation. So give them the respect of time. Okay. And also another thing that you should do is study for your PSAT test and try to do your SAT test over the summer break as well. So start your study now, and by July or August, you should be able to do the test, because the score will offer you the merit scholarship, even though some college or university may not require the standardized test score anymore, but it still works in your favor. If you do well, you will automatically have access to merit scholarship. Okay. And also start thinking about how you want to draft or formulate your personal statement. Okay. That's what you had to do for junior. And for senior, you should be hearing from the colleges and university that you had applied to already. It's already like the 3rd week of March. So you should receive those lists and then make a decision. I have a student whom I work with who got accepted to 5 colleges out of 7 colleges and university that she applied to. So right now she's evaluating what is more important for her, a scholarship offer, financial aid offer versus the major that she choose or the location. So she's working on that decision with her family right now. Also, some scholarship should get back to you already if you apply for scholarship. And I have one student who's actually will be interviewed by a scholarship agency tonight at 5 p.m. Pacific time in California time. So I also offer her some tips on how to prepare herself for a great interview and to impress. And there's a lot to do, ladies and gentlemen. So best of luck to junior, best of luck to senior for closing out your year with your decision on school that you will commit yourself to for the next 4 or 5 years of your academic career and life. And yeah, best of luck. Our program has come to a closing now. So we want to thank all of our viewers for being with us every Mondays from 6 to 7 p.m. And we are grateful for your support, and we hope you take good care. And for now, please have a good night.